Hey there. During the pandemic, we've been noodling with several pedalboard configurations.
You think you could be a little more Pacific? Maybe specific?
So the following is a step-by-step, behind-the-scenes look at this process. And please feel free to leave comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the Mr. Vague YouTube channel.
Hey, I've been listening to this guy over here on YouTube. My God, that's an ugly finger. But anyway, I've been listening to him. Don't tell Mr. Vague. Keep it a secret. And Mr. Vague will kill me if he finds out.
The canaglig or whatever it's called. We've got some weights here, and we cut a piece from the side of the crate, and we're using the bottom as our base for the pedal board. This is upside down right now, so it's glued. It'll be I've got a couple of tack nails in there, and we're going to get some L brackets for the corners. And here we have our Ikea pedal board with our nice L brackets in. This piece right here was replaced because it split. We drilled some starter holes to get this L bracket on. So it's all glued and screwed. Looks good. And next thing to do with this is to get the power supply in. And then some Velcro. I think we're going to use Velcro on this bad boy. This is going to be the multi-purpose switch up and configure however we like, multitasker pedal board for various gigs. Whereas the pedal train Metro 16 we're building, that's going to be mainly for the Blues 2020 amp. Now we have, for the DC Sox DC10, we've got a couple different brackets to hold it in to the in place on the bottom of this pedal board mod. This would stretch all the way across it, and these littler brackets, they would just fit on one edge of the DC10. And the other screw hole would mount it on the board. Whereas these long guys would go all the way across, and each end hole would mount it to the board. Now the problem with this, here's our screws that hold in the Syaux power supply. Normally this would go through, like a pedal train, the aluminum metal. So these are small screws, and it would anchor the board aluminum to the Syaux. So if I use these brackets, you can see, hang on here, these guys fit flush. The screw's pretty much flush. With these smaller brackets, they're not sunk out of here, they're not beveled out or whatever far enough, so there's a little lippy there in this screw. It's hard to see, and I'm pretty picky about getting stuff right, so you can see that little lip. So what I'm going to do, I got to save this screw. What I'm going to do, since I like these smaller brackets better, I'm going to route out these screw holes here. That you can see it good now. And so those little bolts screws can fit in without hanging over the edge too far. So let me do that now. And all we're really doing here is just taking a C-clamp and a little chunk of pine and we're clamping it onto the wood, and we're just gonna, like I say, route out one of these screw holes so that the screw fits in there and is like, if it was wood, it would be like countersunk into the metal. So we'll hang on. And you can see here what it looks like after it's been routed out compared to the, let's get a better look here, compared to the other hole. And that's the routed out hole. And that's what the 4 of them look like right there. You can see there's the normal hole and there's our routed out hole. And that is one gross looking hand too, ain't it? Whoa. This is what she looks like with 2 brackets on. And I'm going to take a snapshot of this, the outlets here, just so I know what's going on as far as dip switches, because this is going to be face down against the bottom of the pedal board. So cheers. Here's what the DC-10 is going to look like underneath, how it's going to be mounted. Screws through, and our power coming out here, and it can spread evenly over the entire distance of the board. We'll have to notch out some grooves here to get cables and whatnot through. Looking good. Now we've marked equidistance, well, centered in the first board. Screw holes here centered across the width of this board. We're even as far as the left-hand side here and the right-hand side. So our drill holes, this thing's going to be centered on the top half of the board, if we'll say that, as you can see where it sits. But she's sitting right in the middle, and we marked these holes. We're going to drill them through. We've got these lock washers and screws that'll fit perfectly through. These again are flat top. It's like our last Metro 16 mod build. And I'm going to screw these through now, and we're going to mount this baby. So recent updates to this Ikea prototype pedal board. The DC-10's been installed. Clips were used. Well, if you'll call them clips, they're little 2 screw hole slats of metal attached to both the DC-10 and to the wood. So it's pretty solid. I'm probably going to add a few wood slats on both sides of the DC-10 just for added support. And on the flip side, our front side of this, you can see I put 1, 2, 3, 4 strips of Velcro on the board. And next thing up, we're going to have to drill some holes for the power cables and attach those underneath to the DC-10 and attach them up top here to some pedals. And one other thing, I've got different sets of rubber feet. I'm probably going to be mounting them, for instance, like right there on the corners of this bottom of the board, just so there's some rubber feet to protect the wood from splintering up. And we drilled holes and prepped for rubber feet, as you can see. Boop, boop. And now the board is furnished with 4 rubber feet, which should let it sit. I mean, you can't really tell with the carpet, but you can see them under there. A few quick updates that have occurred with the IKEA DC-10. pedalboard concoction that we're building. It's just a new fun project. We added some pine slats just for extra support. This bottom row right here had a little bend in it, so added these extra slats. All of these are glued and nailed with the same little nails, the really braids that were with the Ikea crate that came with it. And in addition to that, we put a little spacer, or a little support piece right here to match up with these guys on the outside edges, on the corners. And for each of these, the corners and the middle, we added our little rubber feet. And all of this still allows room for our cables and such. And it's solid. If you flip her over, I got the Velcro up top. You can see all of these were nailed, and it is solid. Doesn't bend at all, and it's still relatively lightweight. So. Well, greetings, friends. This is the Ikea pedalboard mod completion here. We don't have any pedals on the board. We did drill in some 1/2-inch holes here. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these 1/2-inch feeder holes for all of our wire connectors, and we can fit a whole bunch. This is a pretty big board. We can fit a lot of pedals on this. And let's get a look at the underside. There's our, oh, and yeah, we didn't talk before. I haven't talked at least about these extra slats I put in here for support. These are all glued, nailed from the top and glued underneath. And I did put a couple in the center. Here's just, you can see this at a better angle. And for these center guys, I put more rubber feet on. So we've got a total of 6 rubber feet. And that decreases the bend from the top, because I had a few pedals on here, and when you pushed in the middle, it would bend and give a little too much. So that provides, these guys in the middle provide some extra support. And it is strong at the same time. It's pretty darn lightweight. We're talking lightweight Ikea pine, and it is a, what is it called? Naglig. And the DC-10 power unit and connectors are here. And our switches are underneath, a little hard to get to, but really if I want to pop this out, it's just a matter of 1, 2, 3 nuts, unscrew them, and it comes, I can, the dip switches I can change if I need to. And, power cables are pretty easy to change out too. If I want to put a, on a 200, if I want to split it with a 3, I can do that, or a 400 outlet right here, I can split those. You can't see, but these are 200s and 400s, and we've got straight 100s. I can even split these guys in 2, but I've got singles coming out of most of these. And cable wise, let's see, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is enough for 14 pedals right here. Each running, let's see, Well, actually, we're splitting those right there. Oh, that's a 400 split. Sorry. So, yeah, if we're splitting them that way, 14 each of these is 100 MAs. So you're talking, you can put 14 on this guy as is, 14 pedals that are sucking 100 milliamps each. Or we can split even more and put more pedals on here. I don't know exactly how many would fit, but that is the finished product. We're not even going to test Mr. V-Man, not Mr. Veg, but V-Man. He's on tour in Transylvania somewhere, so he's not going to be demoing this in a video, but that is a nice looking rig. Yeah, glad it turned out nice, and we'll put it to use one of these days. Have a great week. Have a great day.